I'm Fletcher Rhoden, and this is Quotes and Quips. Today, words of wisdom from Julius Caesar. Well, today's Quotes and Quips is brought to you by my website, FletcherRhoden.com. There you can find links to my Amazon authors page. That's where you can download my books in their various formats, including audiobook. And a link to my Spotify artist page, where you can download all of my music in its various subgenres. I've got new music for 2024, which you can also download anywhere across the internet, wherever you like to download your favorite music. But I've got free stuff at the website, things you can only get there. So check it out. Well, Julius Caesar. I came, I saw, I conquered. And Caesar was one of the great conquerors of his day. So much so that he was seen to have assumed too much power by the Senate and was summarily and infamously executed by multiple stab wound on the Senate floor. So Julius Caesar did in fact have this conqueror mentality. But it's all too easy to see that this was his undoing. Like Alexander the Great, the man became myopic. And he lost the support of the people he needed. Caesar needed the Senate. Alexander the Great needed his armies. But when he just kept conquering and conquering and conquering, and they thought, well, we're never going to go home. We're never getting home. And he, like Caesar, overstepped his bounds. He got too far ahead of his skis, I guess you would say. He would not have said that. What does this quote tell us, though? It's not that, because a lot of people find this to be inspiring. I came, I saw, I conquered. You know, Julius Caesar did it, and so shall I. Go out there and conquer the world, boy. And that's swell. But the world doesn't really need to be conquered. And people don't really need to be conquerors in order to be happy. We'll talk more about that on other editions of Quips and Quotes and Quips. But to me, it speaks more of hubris. It's more of man's inclination to conquer, which is, it's hubris. It's a folly. It leads to man's downfall at almost every turn. Every great conqueror falls. They all do. They all always have. You can't go on conquering forever. You can achieve power, but you can't hold power forever. When you get lost in the drive toward conquering and ruling and power, therein you begin the descent. You know, there are so many great quotes on this. I won't even get into them, but they all basically say the same thing. It's a fool's road. And look at all the great people who've taken that road, and look at the disaster which met all of them. Among them, Julius Caesar, who probably never did say "et tu, Bruti." That was written by William Shakespeare. But so, must we conquer all that we see? Maybe back in the day. Maybe, I mean, that would have been the currency by which Caesar lived and died. His success as a leader would be measured in great part by his foreign successes. Douglas MacArthur said, "I shall return," and he did. There was a lot of hubris there too. But he didn't say, "I came, I saw, I conquered." And he wasn't there to conquer the Philippines. And he didn't come back to, annex it. He was liberating it. And Julius Caesar was not liberating anything. Until they liberated him from a very valuable amount of his blood. So, but that's what happens. to conquerors. You know, that's what happens to conquerors. And I think that's what we can learn from Julius Caesar, is not the great inspirational power of I came, I saw, I conquered. Think of it as the rueful confession of a man lying, bleeding out on the Senate floor. Thought of not with pride or grandiosity, but with regret. With sadness, with an understanding that his conquering had led him to a summarial death. I came, I saw, and I conquered. Well, tune in again. I'm here every week on Monday at noon. I leave these up, so you can always check out a rerun of Quotes and Quips with Fletcher Rhoden. Don't forget to check out my website, FletcherRhoden.com. I'll see you next time, but until then, bye, Mary.